Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're doing well as I always do. And as always, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. The link is in the description below for their the affiliate link, so you can go directly to the West Ham section to have a look at some really good stuff. Any purchases made through that link, the commission that the channel would normally be getting will be going directly to the NHS. So thank you to everybody that's going to be making payments or has already done so. You're helping everybody, you're helping those that are helping us to get back to normal. So as you saw from the intro video, this is episode 60 of a daily live chat with John. We've been doing it for, I mean, obviously there was one night we when the Wolves game was going on, but other than that, it's been 60 evenings straight where you and I have talked about mostly things West Ham related, but there have been a few other, but we do talk about a few other little bits and pieces as well. And of course, this is all down to it's an open Q&A, so it's all up for you guys to discuss what you want to discuss and kind of in a way just gravitate the conversation really more than anything else. So as always, let's have a look to see who's in the live chat. Said Rishi, good evening, my loyal subjects. Hello, mate. Andy says good evening, Lord Richie. Andy says even JP. Mancunian Hammer, hello, mate. Good to see you. Richie very deflated this afternoon. Evening peasants. Which says a thumbs down before the video has even started. The depths that Sullivan will go to. What are you talking about, you mental case? You've clearly been on the beers. The weather in Cyprus has clearly affected you today, mate. But yeah, there's quite a lot of things to talk about as always. The first and foremost, of course, is you could say it's a little bit of a what's the word? It's just jumped out of my head now. I was thinking about it. You could say that it was Spain. So yes, apologies, Richard. Yeah, Spain. Yeah. I could have sworn you said you was Cyprus, but never mind. Yeah, I did. I did think it was. What's the word? Conspiracy? This is the word. A bit of a conspiracy because apparently there's a report coming out earlier today that said the coronavirus antibody tests have been rolled out without proper assessment, aka they're trying to rush it out as quickly as possible. And also there's rumors going around that the government are actually ignoring the health warnings that everyone's been given about opening life back to normal. So if this is true, I read this morning. Somebody that I know relatively well, and I don't think they would spread false rumors. So, but as I say, if this is true, then there is a very, 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 very good chance we will see a second wave of the pandemic, which will probably put us back from level 3 as we currently are on up to back to 4 or maybe 5. You never know. We'll have to wait and see. Evening, Eden. Hope you're all right, mate. Qantas has announced that they're cutting 6,000 jobs, and they predict fewer international flights until next July. So this is how bad the situation's is going to be potentially for the next 12 months. It looks like Qantas are worried that they're not going to be able to afford to keep people on. This is Qantas, Australia's largest airline. Just let that sink in for a couple of seconds. Qantas, Australia's largest airlines with routes all over the world, are cutting back 6,000. Have announced 6,000 job losses because they don't think there's going to be flights will be back to normal for 12 months. Let's let that sink in for a little bit. Andy says Bournemouth Beach looked mental. I'm guessing you meant, yeah, you did. Peter Jones, hello, mate. I don't look it, but thank you. Gary, good evening, mate. And the other Gary, hello, mate. Good to see you. Now, air bridges are going to be unveiled as of this weekend, from what I understand. God, I'm sweating like crazy. I'm no word of a lie, guys. 15-20 minutes ago, I went and had a shower. I had a shower before I came on the broadcast, and already I'm sweating like mad. This room gets so hot, it's unbelievable. It really does. But anyway, so air bridges to France, Italy, Spain, Greece, and Germany are set to be revealed this weekend. So basically, what it is for those that ice cream man, for those that don't know what an air bridge is, it's basically a time where you don't have to quarantine for 2 weeks for traveling to and from the country. So that's really good news from that point of view, because it looks as like because Italy, everybody's pretty much opening back to normal now, and so I mean we've still been able to fly in and out all over the place. But which is stupid for one thing, but at the same point, kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about the government's ignoring of medical information. Are they trying to? Because at the end of the day, they're just rushing it back. They're rushing it back to get the economy up and running, which is understandable. I totally understand it. I don't agree with it, but it just shows, and I reiterate this one when the government took out that massive loan a couple of weeks ago. I've been saying it for a long time. We are not out of recession and never have been. If the company as a whole can't suspend for more than 3 to 4 months, or basically a financial quarter, without having to borrow money, we've never been out of a recession since the 80s. We never had one, not really since the 60s, really. I don't, that I've maintained it loads. I mean, you're seeing it all the way. You're seeing it all the way. There are companies that are still working, obviously, but as a nation, I mean, some of you may be very rich, some of you may be not, some of you may be average, and some of you may be poor. But in terms of the entire nation, we're not out of recession. We're not. Otherwise we wouldn't be in such a bad state 3-4 months in. We wouldn't be. It's stupid. Andy says, "Get me one, please, the 99." I don't think you'd be here in time for it to melt, mate. Before it melts. Richie wants one as well. Gary says he's in Devon, and we got the heat and the thunderstorm at the minute. Yeah, Gary, there's one coming from the majority of the UK. Well, from the lower northern London upwards, sort of thing. I mean, we'll be all right, but I don't believe it in any shape or form. What are you two talking about? Andy and Richie, honestly, Andy saying, "Richie, do you want crushed nuts?" And Richie saying, "As long as she's wearing high heels, mate." Honestly, you two. Oh, quality! I love it, and that's why I do these. That's why I do these broadcasts. I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, in all seriousness, at the end of the day, as a nation, we are massively divided. Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to do this is kind of bring everybody in together to try and just get some normality. Just because it's the common things that balance out life and pain. It's as simple as that. And as I say, we're all West Ham support. With some I know some of the 16 people that are watching this on Facebook and YouTube. And thank you to Jeff for liking it, and thank you to Rick as always for loving this, because I'm guessing he's at work still. I'm guessing he loved it before the. And this is the funny thing: when I set this up, I got an alert on my phone saying I'm going live at 6:30. Then I got an alert saying I'm going live in 20 minutes, and then I got another alert saying I'm going live in 2 minutes. It's great that Facebook are doing that. It's really good. It's really good. Let's see if that's actually worked. Yeah, because there's only one person on Facebook watching this, and I'm guessing so it's either Jeff or it's either Rick. It's one of the two. But yeah. But anyway, guys. Yeah, so anyway, so where are we? So I was just interesting. One of the websites that I use now, News Now, or Now News, whichever way around it is, they have a dedicated West Ham section, which is where I get a lot of my information from. Not all of it, but a lot of the information from. And this article really randomly appeared in. So it was basically about Newcastle United, yeah, because obviously we're playing them in a couple of weeks. So I guess, well, not even weeks, a week and a half, isn't it? Really. I'm guessing that's why it's come up, because it's saying about anything. But anyway, what they say is that the basically up on Newcastle's website. Now, forgive me if West Ham have already done this. If they have, fine. But Newcastle's website have announced that if anybody's bought single match tickets, that they can apply for a refund for the home games that they've missed. And I think that's brilliant. I haven't seen West Ham do that. To be fair, I haven't looked at anybody at any other website as well, for that matter, so I can't say. But it's nice to see that the Geordie fans are getting the chance to get their money back for games they can't attend. It's going to be, they're going to need it. We're all going to need it. I know one of my mates who was meant to be going to Spurs away got his refund mixed in with his club cash. But yeah, it's. Where are we? So yeah, Stuart Russell says, got alert on Facebook but watching on YouTube. Sweet. Anki Tam, hello mate. I'll surely join you here in the chat when Chelsea play West Ham. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I still haven't got my season ticket money back. Andy, did you request a refund, an actual proper refund? Because it'd be interesting to see what it says on the form about the turnaround times and the refund periods. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they say on that. Because I haven't seen it because I haven't bothered, to be honest. I haven't bothered asking for it. I came very close to phoning them up yesterday morning after the Spurs game to get that money back. Yeah. So yeah, as I say, have a look on the form you completed if you can, and take a look to see what it says on there. 30 days for return of the form. Exactly. So what? So they only offered the refund. What was it? 2-3 weeks ago. So it should. So if you return, say for example, you return the form at the beginning of the month, you should get your money back next week, as an example. Mancunian Hammer says we supposedly have some winnable games after Chelsea. Supposedly, if this was just a minute, you'd get interruption for repetition there, mate. But our opponents will be looking at us as an easy 3 points, mate. I was talking to Nick Marsh, aka Marshy, who's on West Ham Fan TV. He's come on here a few times as well. Went on Claret Blue Army a little things. But yeah, so we were literally talking about this earlier today. I can't, as I've repeated, I can't see more than 4 points. Yeah, 4 points over the next 7 games. We are in, because if we could see the tactics that Moyes was doing. And we're all amateurs, and let's not forget, none of us are professional footballers or anything like that. If we can see it, then Mourinho can see it. Lampard will be able to watch it, and the Villa boss, Bournemouth boss, blah blah blah. Everybody else can see what's coming a mile off and arrange their tactics accordingly. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Richie, that's exactly. We were talking about that. Me and Marshy wouldn't be surprised if Norwich turns us over. Yeah, could happen. Everyone seems to think that that's going to be a walkover, guys. We are going to get walked over in terms of the possession rate, shots on target, that sort of thing, because we seem to be the only team down in the bottom 4 or 5 that aren't really putting up a fight. Villa are trying. Brighton have obviously pulled themselves well out of the relegation fight because they've gone as have Wolves in that regard, because both teams have gone unbeaten since the restart. Yeah, it's worrying times. It is worrying times. Up to 30 days. Sorry. Yeah. So Andy, basically, mate, what that means is the fact that I guarantee you they will use it on the 29th day. So whenever you sent your form back, because up to means anything. It could be from the first day to the 30th, or it could be the first day to the 29th, whatever. Just keep an eye out for it. That goes. As any of the teams we're about to play will be over Dodger Slaughter. It's agreed, mate. Exactly. Do you think we will still go down? I do. I said it yesterday, Andy. Yep, I'm the last person to say we're going to get relegated. I really, really am. But yeah. No, just remind. Where are we? Ed says, if you predict what will happen at Norwich by recent performances, it could be worrying. That's the only way we can work, mate. That's the thing. That's the only way we can analyze what's happening, because we obviously don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Literally, we don't know what's happening we don't know what's happening on the training ground. We don't know what's happening at all. What's all the political sides of things and all that sort of stuff. I've got a funny feeling that Alaire's fallen out with Moyes. Or he's fallen out with somebody. because yes, I mean yes, injuries happen at training. It always does. But I've got a funny feeling that he's not liked by Moyes in the same way that a Jetty or Yeti, however one you want to pronounce it, and well, yeah, he is. I don't, because Ande Silva is a different quantity because he's a junior and everything. So yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to try and figure out what's going on. But at the end of the day, as I say, I think we're going down. I really, really think we're going down. And I'm the last person to say that we're going down. If we don't see any fight by the Norwich game, we're down. Simple as that. We're down. So what you guys have been talking about. So Rishi says, all the other managers know that Moyes won't make subs until after 70 minutes, and they know to save their best players to bring on the subs around the 60th minute. Agreed. Mank says, we are second to everything in the centre of the park. So many of our players lack pace, no centre forward, and people hoping that Allaire comes back, forgetting that he has been poor. He has been poor. But it's all down to the fact that he hasn't got everything. He hasn't got everything up to date. So he hasn't had anybody, a full squad behind him. And let's face it, bar himself, we've got a very, very strong squad behind us now. We've got the likes of WHU, which I've got a horrible feeling he's going to be playing on Wednesday night for the Chelsea game. Not there's going to be anything wrong with that because we need a bit of difference in the midfield. But I know Lampard is gonna have a backup plan for that. He's a very, very intelligent Glazer. He really is. As much as we all hate him, I mean, I don't. I mean, but I'm saying we in general. As much as us as a fan base hate him, yeah, it's just he's a very intelligent man, and his tactics are absolutely spot on. And Katam says, if West Ham get relegated, they will get rid of Deadwood and invest money on young players and come back as a strong force. I don't think so, mate. I really don't think so. I don't think we will come back as a strong force because the financial burden of the league, because of the suspension and the the suspension of the world basically for 3 months, I don't think that's going to offset. I really don't think that's going to offset selling the big players. I don't think it is. Some of them will walk for free. I reckon some of them will walk for free. I don't, and save. I mean, obviously, we'll get around to this in a minute. But I really don't think that it's going to be financially enough. Where's this? And he's saying they still have till Monday for me to return it. Monday week. So yes, you got a week and a half, mate. So yeah. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. If he comes close to like Friday next week, then give him a call and say, look, just want to make sure what's going on because it's pretty much up. Gary says, we could lose every game and still stay up if games go away. We can't rely on that, Gary. We really can't rely on that, which is the reason why Moyes is saying that he thinks it's going to go down to the last game of the season. He's hoping that it's going to have the same reaction. Where is Henry? Hello, mate. Said I told you it takes. I told you all it takes is my 50 pet. I told you all it takes my. Yeah, you've got a word in there. Sorry, mate. That's really thrown me. I told you all it takes my £50 bet to go down and we stay up, mate. Richie says, heard the players really like Silva and he's been banging them in training. So why is not playing? Why is Moyes not playing him? Because for the same attitude he's got with Wilshere, that he needs the minutes, and yet he's not going to get the minutes if he's not playing. But we'll see. I honestly think as Zonde Silva and Michael Antonio up front together will be very, very lethal. Very, very lethal. But we'll find out. Kai Cogger says, I'm nervous against Chelsea. Welcome. I'm nervous as well. I don't know anybody that isn't nervous. And he says, I think we will struggle if we went down. We might be down for a few years. Very, very likely, mate. Very likely. Richie says, we won't invest in young players. We will have no choice but to play the young players if we get relegated. That's kind of what Atkin Tam's talking about, investing in young players. Well, I'm hoping that's what he means. Investing in the time and to bring them through, which is cyclical back to what Andy was saying, that we will stay down for a few years. Mank says, my mate is a Bolton supporter. He thought that they'd come straight back up. Agreed. Leeds thought they would. Sunderland tried to do it and failed miserably. Yeah, Bolton, Wigan as well, for that matter. Loads of teams have tried to bounce straight back up. West Brom tried it. Okay, so there's 180 minutes played 3 shots on target, 0 strikers, but 2 strikers on the bench. Yeah, with no idea what that is about either, mate. Really don't. Moyes wants a big man up front so he can play direct. Yeah, but he's got to play dirty football. Unfortunately. But yes, I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, that's the Allardyce tactic. I mean, we were playing the long ball last night, Tuesday night. We were playing long ball on Saturday. Made no difference, unfortunately, because again, everybody knows it. Everybody knows that what we're doing, what the tactics are. Eden says, I agree we should try him, but I don't think we should lay all our hopes on Zonde and Ale coming back as well. Agreed. I've been saying it for quite a few times, for quite a few weeks as well. We shouldn't be laying all our hedging all our bets or putting our eggs all in the same basket when it comes to Bowen. I was going to say, I was literally about to say Jim Bowen there. It's Andy's weeks of calling him Jim. But yeah, I agree. We can't be relying on 1 or 2 players. It's a team. It's a team game. It's as simple as that. Hello, Michael. Hope you're doing all right. He says, why can't we be lucky like Newcastle? Because the owners won't sell up, as far as I know. As far as we're all seeing. Gary says, could Moyes have something wrong with him? His decisions are not right. He's deluded. He's of that, I hate to say it, but he's of that ilk where he thinks that he knows it all. That's the reason why he didn't last very long at Man United, is because he went in with the attitude that, kind of like with oh God, what's his name? Oh, his name's just jumped out of my head. The Leeds manager that lasted 6 weeks. Exactly the same attitude. Went in there, came from Derby, went straight in, saying, forget all your medals, forget everything you've done. You're now playing football my way. And I guarantee, not that cringy work, not that diverse, not that arrogantly, but I reckon, well, probably that arrogantly. But but this is the thing. This is the fact that he went into Man U saying, you're going to play my way now. Respect everything that Sir Alex has done, and he's recommended me coming in. But this is the way we're going to be playing football, and that's what stopped his Man United career, because he's not adaptable. He won't adapt. He can't adapt. Mourinho can't adapt. Mourinho's done a lot more than Moyes has done. Moyes has won nothing. He won nothing with Everton. He won nothing with Man United. He's won nothing with Sunderland, apart from getting them relegated as a shockingest manager of the year. He's not done anything. He's not done anything to warrant himself to be managing a team in the Premier League, or not even the Championship. I don't think. I reckon he should drop a couple of leagues. I really reckon he should drop a couple of leagues. And Andy, I'm surprised you haven't picked me up on me forgetting the manager's name, mate. I'm surprised you haven't picked me up on that yet. But yeah, but as Andy says, you may have to make your own luck. You have to make your own luck, Key. Agreed, completely. Gary says, could Moyes have something wrong with it? Sorry, I've already done that. Key says, Bowen is quality, need more players playing for the badge, not for the money. Agreed. Richard says, would you have Sam back till the end of the season? And if he keeps us up, gets a fat bonus, and we look for a new manager when the season ends. You've been listening to the West Ham Way podcast, haven't you, mate? That's exactly the conversation, almost word for word, for what Dave Walker's been tweeting, and he said yesterday. It's exactly. But I said it again, Richie. You were here yesterday, mate. You know full well that I said that I'd welcome back Allardyce. That's how bad things are at the moment. So I'd welcome him back. Michael says, "Can you say this tongue-twisted ice wallow come?" Can. One more like that and you're getting booted out, sunshine. Andy Wolf says, now Zaba, Sanchez and Ngakia are all off. That makes the full back position even worse. Agreed, which we will talk about. Remember, there's the structures of this channel, guys. Now, X is confirmed next season's home kits. The next season's home, away, and the third kit on the West Ham Way podcast. So for those that haven't listened to it yet, he's basically confirmed that the home kit looks very similar to the last season at the Bowling. It's a claret body, blue sleeves, a blue high neck, in the same sort of way that we had at the last Bowling game at the Bowling. The Umbro and the West Ham badge in blue. I don't think no. I'm sure it's gonna look really, really nice. But if it's gonna be copying a kit from 5 seasons ago, I understand. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much, mate. That's the one, Brian Clough. Yes, it was, mate. Thank you, and welcome, of course, Ben, as well. For 125th year anniversary, doesn't sound very imaginative. It really doesn't. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like, but it doesn't sound very imaginative at all. Now, the away strip sounds like I don't remember X saying what the color was. Apologies if he did, but I think he said it was white with the blue, with the claret and blue hoops, like in the old 60s, but a little bit wider apart. So maybe kind of like the t-shirt I was selling for a while. The retro football one where I had a claret and blue stripe with the old black and white football with the old badge, the old channel badge on the front of it. That's how it used to be. So that sounds quite nice. White with the claret and blue stripes. Probably one about here and then one down here, maybe a little bit wider than anything else. And the third shirt apparently is white as well. So that sound pretty quite interesting. So yeah, I mean, as I say, we have to wait and see what it looks like. Sorry, Safian, hello mate. Sorry I'm late. You will be. That's lines, 100 lines. Mank says Moyes' attitude: if it's badly broke, don't fix it. Carry on with the same long ball and wait until you're behind before subs. Yeah. To be fair though, we've seen that, and we saw that under Bilic, we saw that under Pellegrini to a degree. It's instruction from the board. It's as simple as that. Eden says Notes is not proactive enough. I think you mean Noble, I'm guessing on that. Oh, sorry, Moyes is not proactive enough. Sofian says I think we can stay up. I hope so, mate. I really do. But life isn't about the Premier League. Life is about West Ham, not West Ham Premier League. People say people wouldn't take back Sam. They don't care about results and care about pretty football. We tried that with Pellegrini and it flopped. I like Sam. He was a quality manager. He was, but it was his arrogance when he was like, for example, when we won against Hull with 10 men and he cupped his ear. That's the night he lost. He lost the fans. That's the night he lost the fans. That's the night. I guarantee that's the night they told him you're not having we're not renewing your contract, because that. Because it was an awful tactic game. It was horrendous, that game. Absolutely awful. And that's why there was boos at full time, because it was anti-football that night. It was horrendous like that. And as I say, that night when he cut to listen to say, "Oh, sorry, I can't hear you," to the fans, that's the night he lost us. Allardyce is a very good manager, brilliant in some ways, well ahead of his time. One of the first people to properly use the medical science. about having them sitting on having systems where everything's monitored, heart rate, lungs, oxygen, all that sort of stuff. But no, I couldn't see him. Don't want to take him for much longer. I couldn't. I'd take him till the end of the season, of course. But yeah, no, not for that. Richie says the kit downs don't sound that exciting. Yeah, I said I think the third kit will look the best. Richie says I think away was blue and the third was white. Yeah, probably. But yeah, I remember him saying that there's clout and blue stripes on it. So if it's blue with the clout and blue stripes on it, that's awful. And we said the thing is, if we stay up, we will go down next season because of Moyes. Yeah, our luck is running out. Our luck is definitely running out. And talking of which, just in case he decides to come up again, where are we? So, RD. Well, not sure what you mean by that, fella. Manx, JP, will we stay up? Yes or no? No, I don't think we will. I said it yesterday. I said it earlier today. We're going down. Gary says, if we go down, will you pay the same money for your season ticket because you get more games? No idea. They will probably try it. But when we got relegated last time, we saved about 40 or 50 quid, I think it was, for more games. But yeah, we'll see. Sofian says anti-football is getting results these days. Okay, fine. We won't get Sean Dyche either then when you lose Burnley after this season. Yeah. Exactly, Richie. Again, which is what we will come on to in a minute. But let's get back to the format of stuff now, guys, because I've answered a few more than I usually do, to be honest. Frank McAvenny, Funtime Frankie, has said quite a few things about the Spurs game. It was quite interesting reading, hearing what he said. Where are we? McAvenny said, I think we could have got something out of the game against Spurs. I am sorry, David Moyes, but the two substitutions were disgraceful completely. He brought Noble off and put Anderson on. I have never seen Anderson go in for a tackle. People say they have never seen him win a tackle. Well, I've never seen him go in for a tackle. Genuinely, he pulls out of challenges, and that is just wrong. Lanzini is a good player, but there is something not right with him. They miss Snodgrass because he at least gives effort. I really do fear for them. I really do. And I can't blame him. I can't blame him. He was absolutely right. I coming to think of it, yes, I can't. I don't remember ever seeing Anderson try and tackle for a ball. I really can't. And there's a very, very good article on WHU, which is now, which is pretty much what Richie's talking about in the chat here. So I'll just share this with you guys. So I'm actually hang on 2 seconds. Yeah, no, yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, here we go. All right, so let me just zoom in on this for a bit because I'm using two separate browsers because I really don't trust what's going on here. So in the minute, I need to get used to this new computer. So basically, points accrued and goal difference in brackets. The average points accrued for West Ham in the Premier League is 13.4. David Moyes has accrued 8 points in 2000 into 2020. And it's just it is crazy. It is crazy. Goals scored, average goals scored 13.2. David Moyes has had 14 goals scored under him in 2020. Goals conceded, 22 goals in 2020. Average goals conceded, 18.1 goals. Games won. The average is 3.4 games. David Moyes has managed just 2 since January. Games lost. David Moyes has lost 8 games average of 5.3 for all of these managers. Overall stats in 2020, he's won 2, drawn 2, lost 8, scored 14, conceded 22, 8 points occurred, and a goal difference of -8. And that's exactly what Richie's been talking about. It's just awful. And there is stuff in there about Dyche as well, but I'm not going into that. But yeah, you're right, mate. He's Sean Dyche does less subs than Moyes, and Dyche's bottom of the stats for subs. Moyes is just above him, and he's literally just above him. Richie says, I saw what Frank said. Can we get him till the end of the season? He won't take no shit. If he, mate, I don't think he'd last. I really don't think he'd last. He'd go in there, all guns blazing, and the manager would get rid of him within a week, because you can't do that anymore. It's how stupid the world's become. You can't do that anymore. So if he says, Frank was my dad's favourite player, so I automatically like him. I think he's right. Agree with what you're saying, with what they said about Anderson too, completely. And he says, I don't think any manager would or will succeed under these owners. Completely agree. Sofian says, look at Bowen. He's a flair player, but he's a grafter. Yeah, absolutely. He tracks back, digs deep, and goes in for tackles. Proper winger. I don't see that with Anderson or Lanzini at all. Completely. Tones back. Hello, mate. As the new West Ham cap being released, got a standard claret body and sky blue sleeves. I hate it when Umbro gives us claret sleeves. Yeah, because they're not really claret. They're sort of that sky bluey weird thing. But it hasn't been released yet. But that's what X was talking about on the podcast. Garen the Ginger's in. Hello. How are you, darling? I'm surprised Mark's not in tonight. That's quite entertaining. Henry says he did win one in the Tottenham game. Yeah. So 1-2, drawn 2, lost 8. That's his record. Eden says subs can make the difference, because Traore came on and hurt us, and Bergwijn came on and looked dangerous for Spurs. He did. Do you know what? He scored a goal that was almost offside against Man United, and he almost scored against us as well. I like the look of this kid. I haven't looked too much into it, but if he is English heritage, I think if he keeps going the way the potential he appears to have, that would be very, very good for the England side. It really, really would. I knew that was a spammer. Alan, hello, mate. Finally, someone is watching on Facebook, or was. Get rid of Anderson. No effort, 0 pass rate last 2 games completely. Alan, you can argue that's been his attitude for most of the season, to be fair, bar a few games. Now, the players retained list. I'm sure you guys have already talked about seen it before, and of course, Andy's just already hinted at it. Zabaleta, Sanchez, and Ngakia to depart. The club has said West Ham United has issued the club's retained list of players with Pablo Zabaleta, Carlos Sanchez, and Jeremy Ngakia all to leave the club when their respective contracts expire on Tuesday, the 30th of June. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Zabaleta's tweet today, beautiful from the man, absolutely lovely, saying it was a pleasure to work at West Ham. I wish everybody well for the future, and it's absolutely brilliant. Zabaleta departs after 3 seasons in which he made a total of 80 appearances, scoring a solitary goal in the FA Cup win in Gillingham in January. The former Argentina World Cup finalist, who arrived on a free transfer from Man City in the summer of 2017, has become a firm favourite in East London for his commitment, professionalism and leadership. Unfortunately, an injury prevented him from accepting the club's offer of a short-term extension until the end of the disrupted 1920 season. Then he goes on about Sanchez, blah, 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 blah. Academy of Football graduate Jeremy Ngakia, who made 5 first-team starts in 2020, also leaves the club after not signing a new contract. In line with our structure and policy, Jeremy was offered significantly improved... here we go. Jeremy was offered significantly improved terms to reward his breakthrough into the first team squad this year, along with further contractual enhancements linked to his future progress and success. However, the player and his representatives declined to accept any of the offers and also turned down a short-term extension until the end of the current season. The club would like to thank Pablo, Carlos, and Jeremy for their service and wish them well in their future careers. Now, there was also something. What was the? Oh, I'll have to have a look at it and come back to it. But this isn't a retained list. It's just saying who's going. Tone says, JP, would you consider playing Yarmolenko as our striker? I'd play him as second striker, not first. But why not? We've got nothing to lose. Mancunian says, Antonio works hard. Love the guy, but he is isolated. Agreed. And hard to do anything with the long balls. Get the ball back on the deck. Totally agree. Richie says, Antonio should be our Traore sub. Agreed. That's what I said to Nicky the other night. Bring on in the 60th minute and get him to run at people. Definitely. Edna says, John Hartson also criticised Moyes. Surely he'll start to see now what he's doing wrong. He won't. He's too arrogant. In the same way that Allardyce is arrogant. Tone says, for me, I'd definitely drop Noble and play Fornells in the middle with Souček and Rice. I'd actually play Antonio and Bowen wide of Yarmolenko. Not a bad shout, mate. Not a bad shout at all. Which he says, I would have kept Zabs until the end of the season, but you just heard he had an injury which prevented him from doing so. And he says, I sent you a tweet up about kits. All right, let me just have a look to see what you've been sending. Please tell me it's not a. Did you actually send it to me, or was it a tweet? Here we go. Okay, I've seen it. Yeah, so it wasn't the claret and blue loops either. It's just the claret loops. So we'll say once I find it out, guys, we will definitely talk about it completely. Richard said, offered Ngakia 50 green shield stamps. Showing your age there, mate. Mank says, Antonio looks good at the far post, attacking ball swung in from the left. Yeah, I mean, one of these days you'll actually talk about what we're talking about, mate. But yeah. Now this is the interesting thing. There was an article that went up earlier today about football agents. I know we talked about this a little while back, but it's come around again. So because obviously we've had a good few new people in since the last time we talked about it. I thought we'd go around to the circle and talk about it again. So basically, it breaks down fees that the club have paid to agents and all other intermediaries are, like third-party companies and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, I've got a really itchy shirt for a second there. Liverpool have paid a whopping, just from before I go any further. Sorry, this just to let you know, this is the period from the 1st of February last year to the 31st of January this year. Okay, so 12 months from the beginning of February last year to the end of January this year. The Liverpool have scored 30. Sorry, have spent 30,308,791 on intermediary payments. So basically, agents and third-party representatives. Man City 29,025,799. Manchester United 27,560,409. Chelsea, 26,183,337. Everton, 16,942,997. Leicester City, 15,367,250. Arsenal, 13,556,101 pounds. We have spent on agents and intermediary companies in total 13,167,647 pounds from the end of February last year to the beginning of January this year. Spurs, 12,499,074 pounds. Watford, 9,931,479 pounds, and Bournemouth, 9,512,577 pounds. It's as simple as that. We have spent basically half a player on agent fees. Half of an average player's cost now on agent fees. It's unbelievable. This is why there has to be a cap on these sort of things. It really, really does. It's mental. Mark says, "Evening all. Hello, mate. Good to see you." So we've got two gingers in the chat now, I think. Henry says he's not arrogant. He's just stupid. Mate, trust me, he's both. He is absolutely both. Richie, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but no, he's a twonk. Said I think I will become a football agent. Need the moolah. join the queue, sunshine. Join the queue. Tony says, is Aston Villa worrying anyone else? As for me, they show more fight than us and recently scoring more goals and even grabbed the point yesterday. Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning. Gary says, Hugo, agreed. And he says, remember our scouting system as agents. I know that's half the problem. And Mark says, up the gingers. But Andy says, Andy, mate, you're absolutely right. That's half the problem. The fact that they would rather pay hand over fist for players that don't really suit than save that money, get a scouting system in, and find players that do suit the system that we need. It's ridiculous. I really don't understand it. Oh, it really does my head in. And going off the back, because obviously Tone's still convinced about relegation things. They've which is completely understandable. We're all worried shitless about it at the minute. There's updated odds for relegation through the bookies. Right, so Norwich City 1-25. So pretty much odds on. Pretty much odds on to go down. Number 2, Aston Villa. The bookies have put them at 3-10. So still quite pretty much a dead cert. Bournemouth 1-2, so almost on as even. Us 5-4. So 5-4 odds is basically just over 1-1. So still very, very, very likely, but almost even. Watford 7-2. Brighton 12-1. Yeah, it's not going to happen. They really pulled away. And then the odds just get stupid for the rest of the league. And he says it's outrageous. It is, mate. It is outrageous what the system is. Richie says 2 gingers don't make a right. Yeah, so Andy and Mark are flirting with each other as they normally do. Now it looks like that when whoever signs Ngakia for next season, because he's not eligible to. He shouldn't be. I don't think he's eligible to play for the remaining season, if I remember right, the way that the rules are. You know that it looks like we're basically going to be getting 260 grand from him. And X confirmed on the podcast last night that that he said his goodbyes to everybody in the club. So it'll be interesting to see how they responded to him. Be very interested to see how they responded to him. But I don't think that's going to come out all that much as yet. Tone says, okay, so we're basically fourth favourites to go down. Yeah, pretty much, mate. Pretty much. Richard says, I think we will go down on goal difference. Very, very easy. Eden says, fair play to Brighton. Wish we had a defender like Lewis Dunk. Agreed, man. He's very, very good. Very, very good. Now, Football London and Clarence Hugh have given some information about injury updates. So, and they are completely contradictory to a degree. So Football London have stipulated Angelo Ogbonna is a potential return date for Wednesday, the Spurs game. Comment says Angelo picked up a hamstring injury very early, but Angelo isn't too far away. He's been back in training for the last few days, so we're hopeful. Sebastian Heller's return date is the 5th, so basically Newcastle. We lost Haller on Wednesday. He got nudged and twisted his hip. He hasn't been training. Snodgrass out until the end of the season, as we know. Masuaku twisted ankle, no return to work date. Now, Clarence Hugh says Ogbonna is now fully fit and the manager is likely to use him from the start against the Blues, as he has bids to avert another damaging defeat. So I reckon Balbuena is probably going to be dropped. That's my instincts on it. Balbuena was used on Tuesday, but if a fit, Ogbono immediately replaces the Paraguayan. Exactly. Meanwhile, Masuaku was also reported from suffering from his own groin injury, so not a twisted ankle, and remains uncertain for the match next Wednesday. That makes it difficult for the manager to find a replacement for the out of touch. And this is Clarence Hughes' line there, out of touch. Felipe Anderson, particularly as Nathan Holland too is carrying a problem and has only recently returned to training on grass. So Nathan Holland does apparently appear to be eligible, as I said. Now, premierinjuries.com, the website that I use, say that Snodgrass is ruled out. Allaire is 25% likely to play, and also Masuaku is 50. So we won't know until Moyes' press conference on Monday or Tuesday of next week what's going to happen on there. But yeah, I mean, as I say, we are 5-4 odds of getting relegated. Tone, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, it's about even, so it can happen either way. So basically, how it works is that for every, because I know Andy likes it to be broken down in old money for the way that the odds are, because he's asked it. So basically, for every £4 that you put down, you get a £5 back for every £4. So that's pretty much as it is. That's pretty much how the breakdown works. So it's not really looking all that confident on there. It really isn't looking all that confident. Gary says 5 at the back. Oh God, I hope not. I really, really hope not. Rishi says, I will play Holland for the rest of the season over Anderson if he is fit. We need players who want to fight. I'll be very surprised if he's fit for Norwich or Man United. I'll be very surprised if he's fit at that point. But you never know. You never know. All right, guys. So we've got 8 minutes left. What is there anything you guys want to talk about? Excuse me. Richie says, I'd put a shilling on us going down. Gary says, Holland is still lightweight. He is. Agreed. He needs to bulk up. Technically, he should have had what Greg Dingarna's done, gone down the championship, because he's really come. He's made a man of him by the looks of it. And he says, any Brightons on here got a job to block a hole up in Stratford next Tuesday night? I like that, mate. That's good. I like that. Yeah, massive hole we need blocking up. Yeah, 5 at the back worries me. I don't think it's going to happen. I think what Sean Wetson's put on there for on Clarity Hugh, I think that's going to be the case. I think that's that Balbuena is being dropped automatically. I reckon that's what happens. Tony says, is it too risky to start Johnson in out position? In out position, or out in our position? It won't harm it. It really wouldn't. Johnson, I would put him at right back if anything happens with Fredericks. I would completely. Richie says, ask Jose if you can borrow a bus to plug the hole. Tony says, as I'm not keen on Creswell or Fredericks, especially Creswell last game constantly giving the ball away and couldn't get back in time. Mate, most of them gave the ball away, to be fair. I know what you mean, but most of them did. So it's a bit harsh from that side of things. But as I say, I know exactly where you're coming from. Gary says, we should have called back our players. It was our choice, but must be to save wages. Yeah, should have, not should have. Should have. But yeah. I'll let the other bits go, but yeah, it should have. It's not should have. Should have. It should have. Because should have is should apostrophe VE. So showing your age there, mate. Sorry, meant in our position. That's what as we're in a relegation battle. Great, mate. But as I said, yeah, left back I wouldn't be at all surprised. He's a right back by nature, regardless of how his debut against Man City last season. He is a right back, not a left back, but he is capable of playing there. I would personally want to have a left back in the left back position, to be honest. just have a bit more security in that side of things. But I see where you're coming from. Mark's got heat stroke. He says, I think we'll beat Chelsea. Guys, we won't be seeing Dell saying it's going to be 3-1 on Wednesday night because we're not watching. He only watches on Periscope. So yeah, Richard says Johnson can play left back. So should we drop Creswell for him? As I said, I want to have a natural left back there. But if Johnson's playing in that position, I wouldn't be unhappy about it. I really wouldn't be unhappy at all. I mean, it'd be very nice to have the player there, give us a bit more stability. But doesn't what he did against City doesn't mean he's gonna rock up and do exactly the same thing again. It's just it's unlikely, but then in football anything's possible. Absolutely anything's possible. There's a farewell Zabaleta video up on the West Ham website, so I'm gonna have a watch of that after YouTube channel. So I'm gonna have a watch of that. You never know, Mark. We won away when we're supposed to be turned over. Agreed. Yeah. Johnson done well against Man City. He did, but doesn't, as I literally just said, it doesn't mean that he's going to do exactly the same thing again. It doesn't. That's Reece Oxford territory there, Richie. Be careful. Be careful. Tony says, I agree. I wouldn't like a right foot actually at left back. Agreed, man. I mean, there's a mate of mine, Steve. He absolutely hates having a right-footed player in a left-hand position and vice versa. He absolutely hates it. It's the modern way of the Premier League nowadays. Because at the end of the day, guys, we'll have players played out of position because they're good with either feet, and that's what Johnson's like. Does Moyes have the balls not to start Noble? We'll find out. I doubt it, but we'll find out. Liverpool done 5 sums at once last night. Please watch Mr. Moyes. And he says Moyes has no balls, just an empty sack. Yeah, he's been in one too many cold showers. I think that man. No, as Moyes, I'm sure if we met Moyes down the pub or something, I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. Because a lot of people are saying that he's a nice guy, and he does. He comes over very well, but so does Slav. You know, yeah. And yeah, I wish anybody from the West Ham hierarchy watched this. I really do. I know they don't because they haven't told me to stop saying things, so I can say what I want. But yeah, it would be nice to get the message off to the club. It really would be nice to do that, because at the end of the day, as I say, this is the point of this channel and all the other West Ham channels, and indeed all the other football supporter channels for that matter. It's voiced by the fans. Simple as that. And again, this is the content for platform for you guys to talk about it as well. As much as the live watch-alongs is a record of the genuine West Ham fans. I'm not the ones that are just pretending to be West Ham fans. That's what I mean. I'm not saying plastics. I'm saying the ones that pretend to be West Ham fans and then just be dicks. That those that are legitimately concerned. This is why I love the fact that using StreamYard, I can literally just put everybody's comments up, and therefore it's documented. I don't care what anyone says. Every single video is documented about how people are feeling every single time. Mark said, I've seen him today delivering turnips. Well, it was Anderson with him. He just got a glorified fruit. He's just a glorified. Do you know what that would be? Do you know what? If Moyes is in charge next season, and we get back to the stadium, we should start singing that, man. We literally should start singing, man. It said, you're just a glorified fruit and veg, man. Glorified fruit and veg, man. We should start singing that to him. That would be hysterical. That would. That would be really funny. I'd love to see that. But guys, we're pretty much whacked on the hour now. So thank you very much for your time as always. It's been brilliant talking to you. We've had some good comments coming in. If you're new to the channel, welcome. By all means, please do subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing. Try and get just up to the 1,600 subscriber mark to get that live gig. I've been promising you guys for about 2 months. Richard says, don't think Moyes would be any good working at Subway if you order more than 2. And we'll leave it there. So guys, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will see you tomorrow evening. And for those that are watching the replays, by all means, please put, I haven't said this for a while, but it is on the end video, but I know a lot of you guys aren't watching the end video, so please do put your comments, your questions in the comments in this section below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them with the next video. So guys, thank you very, very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow evening, Friday evening. Yeah, Friday evening. Might get some beers. Who knows? We'll see. All the best. Take care.